the Bible says that love is patient. Be patient with me. I want to tell you guys something. Sex isn't love. You know how I look at love is two dogs can have sex. Maybe you guys can like this type of stuff. Alright? Two dogs can have sex. It's not love. Fooling around isn't love. Anybody can fool around. It's not love. But waiting for someone, sitting around even though you cannot touch that person, that's love. And I want to tell you guys, we're sitting on the consequence of that, we're like, don't do it, don't do it, don't rather, the Bible, all over the place. But I want to tell you that you can have the best sex ever for the rest of your life if you just wait for the person it belongs to. Because you won't be a little piece, you'll be whole. You'll turn all of you over to them. And here's my.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't think my brother was the same amount of time. Kind of ruined it for me that day. You thought we were supposed to be sweet. But anyway, we've given you the definition of balance. The motivation, the reason why, the consequences why. But a lot of times you're given information and then thrown out to the real world. It's like, all right, well, good luck. Hopefully, you'll navigate it well. We're going to give you the very simple direction and instructions for how to navigate away from temptation. At the end, we'll give you some examples. But we're going to go to the Bible first. And remember I told you guys about 8 verses, but we only covered 7. Well, the 8th one that talks about sexual immorality is found here in blackness. And it's found here in Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. And it begins with flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a man commits are outside his body. But he who sins sexually sins against his own body. There's a very important word in this scripture. A very important word. And I don't know if you particularly know this or identify it, but I'm going to highlight it for you. That word is flee! Exclamation mark. Now, why is flee so important? Have you thought that the Bible could have said walk from sexual immorality? Skip away from sexual immorality. Run from sexual immorality. But the Bible didn't say any of those words. The Bible said, flee from sexual immorality. Flee. Okay, and I don't think you know what I'm trying to say here. So let me highlight it one more time. Sandy, what am I really trying to say here? Could you put it up on the slide for me? Flee! Exclamation, 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 exclamation. Guys, sexual immorality is real. It is strong. It is something that we all have to deal with. And we have to deal with. Something that if you even get close enough, it's like a whirlpool. It just a part of you just grazes all of you and stuff in. Okay, so I like stories. I love stories. My mom, used to read bedtime stories to me when I was younger. I just love stories. And the best book where you can find stories, of course, is the Bible. Because the Bible stories can change our lives, can relate to our lives. So in the Bible, there's a story about a dude, and his name is Joseph. Now, I'm not talking about Jesus' earthly father, Joseph. I'm talking about a man who had a lot of brothers, and his brothers didn't like him. In Genesis chapter 40, we are introduced to this man, Joseph. He's sold as a slave by his brothers, and he comes out still being blessed and being rewarded by God because of his purity. Rewarded so much that he's given set over a vast mansion, a vast amount of riches, under a man called Potiphar. Keep on forgetting things of last service. And Potiphar was in charge of all the security for Egypt, literally for Egypt. All right, so he was like the Secretary of Defense, Homeland Security. All right, but Joseph was given set over all of that domain. He was like the manager of his household and all the other things. Now, Potiphar was an older dude. All right? So think about the oldest cop you can think of, but a really lazy one in a corrupt office, you know? Think about this dude, he eats donuts, but it's like Egypt, you know, like the Flintstones kind of days. So you know how everything Flintstones is huge, so he eats huge donuts. So Potiphar's being a little chubby, a little old, a little not so attractive, not so in his prime. But Joseph is in his prime. Joseph's somewhere between what, like 19, 23 maybe. He, you know, wears like nice express jackets and probably graduated from the University of Florida. And I mean, the bad is, he's awesome. No, but seriously, Joseph is handsome. The Bible says that he was young, he was beautiful. This man had like 25 pounds. I mean, he was in shape. His skin was, he was a handsome. You know what? I don't think they're dating. Can you put up a real day image, a modern day image of a Joseph for us? So if you, you know what? Okay, in your mind, make a Joseph. If that's your modern day Joseph, I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat. But Joseph was handsome. He was young. He was in charge. He was pure and rewarded by God. So he is walking in the grace of the Lord. So people are looking at Joseph, and he is attractive. Now, Potiphar had a wife, and she was a beautiful woman. She was beautiful. She had money. She had power. So she had it pretty all together. So she comes home, obviously. She looks at her husband, Potiphar. And just imagine your husband's name is Potiphar. What does a dude look like named Potiphar? His parents knew what he was going to look like. That's what they named him Potiphar. So Potiphar, and Joseph, you know, she's sitting there, she looks up, and then she was just saying, yes. No, yes. Potiphar, no. Joseph, yes. She sees only a sheep. She's like, this is great. This is phenomenal. So she sees him one day, working, doing what he's doing, and he knows that that's his boss's wife. So she sees him one day, I guess like in real days, what happened like, hey, Butch, come over here. Okay? I miss this Potiphar. You're cute. So Joseph is like, whoa, hey, look, you are of my master's household. Like, I'm not messing with that, you know? I'm going to do what I have to do, and that's fine, and whatever, you know, I appreciate the coffee, but, you know, I'm going to go and do what I do. When he gets back to work, and he continues doing what he's supposed to, he remains pure. Now, Potiphar's wife, she thinks he's playing hard to get, right? Come on, you know, when a guy says no, he's not really saying no. He said, try harder. That's what movies are telling us. And dude, you know what a girl says? Well, she's playing hard to get. She really likes you. She just wants you to try harder, right? So Potiphar's wife, she got that. She's like, oh, he's playing hard to get. Oh, no. Okay, that's cool. So one day, she sets up her room. She probably wears the most scantily clothed outfit she's ever worn. She looks her best, got perfume, got a violinist hiding behind her. I mean, this woman she's prepped. She is set. And she's got her eye out for one thing. Joseph. So, Joseph's at work, doing, business. Potiphar asking to watch over her, they trust in this man's blood. And Potiphar's wife is in the room. She calls over to Joseph. No. Joseph, hey, why don't you come over here? So Joseph, respecting his boss's wife, comes over and he wants to talk to her. I mean, he's like, all right, what do you need to do? Do you need to take care of this? Walk a cat. That's what they had in Egypt, right? And she says, the Bible says she grabs a hold of his garments. So she grabs his clothes and holds on. She tells him, I want to lay with you. So she is not, she's being obvious. She's like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And this is what I want. What was that? That was weird. Okay, this is what I want to do. This is what's going to happen. I want to lay with you right now. Holding on to his garment. So, like, he was getting some RPA up there. All right, so she wanted to get it on with Joseph. All right, that's what she wanted. She grabbed, she said, I want to lay with you. Guys, you know what Joseph did? Now, the Bible told us to flee, right? We went to flee, right? It was like it. You know what Joseph did? I'd like to say he ran. Okay, he skipped and hopped and walked away. The Bible says Joseph fled. Now, I put that out there. Now, no, you got it wrong. Joseph didn't just flee. Joseph did. Now, for those of you who don't know the connotations or the economics behind dip is like if you were in Walmart and there was the last Reese's peanut butter cup. You stay way over there, right? There's like 10 old ladies in your way coming from a visiting nursing home. There's some huge students trying to get you. Oh, I want that Reese's peanut butter cup. And you're like, oh my goodness. So you just start running. You're going for it. There's an old lady like you knock her out of the way. There's another one just take her like that from the nurse. Get right there. That dude, you just launch over there. Cool. That's those look you see. Joseph, he fled. He got out of that house so fast, so far, with such a purpose that he left his garment in the hands of Potiphar's wife. So what does that mean? Joseph is naked. Guys, Joseph ran away with such intention, with such an effort to remain pure, that he fled with his clothes off. Guys, he knew sexual morality is not a game. He did not sit on the corner of the bed and say, well, Mrs. Potiphar, no, I think it's better. He didn't lay down and was like, oh man, this Egyptian God is phenomenal. And didn't take off his shirt and was like, oh, well, I just want to let her down easy. Guys, sexual immorality and its temptations are not games. It's real. And it's real enough that it can separate you from that walk with God and your efforts to remain pure and maintain those rewards from Christ. So, if you remember anything, I hope you remember how to dip and how to flee. And Ali was talking to me and we were going over the message and we were like, look, we need to give them a real-life way to, navigate. Because I mean, you guys, you don't have this wife all around you, who want to just call that and just run away from them. So, what we thought is that we would give you some examples. I would bring up some good examples, I think, and then Ali would give a point of view on those ideas, okay, on how to navigate relationships. So, it's your decision, I guess, to figure out what's right or wrong, but Ali will show you a little summation at the end of my suggestions for that, all right? So the first idea. I'm dating this wonderful young lady, and my mom's at work, and I'm like, hey, why don't you come over and we just hang out? Come over to my room. And I close the door to my room because the hallway is dirty, and I don't want to look out into the hallway and see that it's dirty. And I think that I should probably close the window because if the sun comes in, it's going to give me a horrible tan, and I don't want to get skin cancer or anything. So I close the window. And I'm just sitting there, hanging out with her, just talking, maybe play some music, just look into each other's eyes and just talk about, politics. I think that is a good idea.
There's that idea. Like I mentioned, we're sexual beings. We're created to be sexual beings. God knew that we would have sexual desire. Therefore, that idea then ends alone. And I'm not going to sit here and say, carry around your feelings with your growth, because we all know that's annoying. Which I have had a few days with family, and it's not that fun. And there's times that a couple wants, yes, especially those of you that are a little older, you're going to want to be alone with a person you have feelings for. But knowing that you're a sexual being, spend time alone in comfort, in a park, at Starbucks. I'll tell you guys look at me like sometimes like, oh my gosh, you're ridiculous, but I'm an adult, and boyfriend here, he's old, he's 27, and there are times where I've been offended with him, I'll admit, but in his wisdom, he said, okay, so you're not going to do that, that's enough. Okay,